What's up, everybody? Episode 3 of AHSOKA just came out and we gotta dig into it. Steph Green directed another banger episode, so before we get into it, here's your spoiler warning because I am going to be going over all of it. If you haven't seen it yet, come on back to this video once you've seen it, and have a great day. I liked this episode a lot. It continued to push the narrative forward and delivered some great space sequences. Ahsoka and Sabine are en route to Cetos to see what Morgan is up to, while Hera returns to the fleet to request help from Chancellor Mon Mothma and the New Republic. And man, this New Republic is such a joke. A line from Andor came to my mind while Hera was talking to them, and that's Cassian's line regarding the Empire being so fat and satisfied. You see that a lot with the New Republic and Ahsoka and the Mandalorian, which just goes to show why it was so easy for the First Order to rise to power. Hera really lays into one certain senator, though, because this is something that really applies to him as he didn't fight in the war, but now he thinks he's all tough and knows how to command a galactic power. That's Senator Xiono, and I gotta say, he reminds me a lot of Phalia from the original Thrawn book trilogy. The final scene we see here with Hera is on the ship as we meet Jason Syndulla, and well, Lego got it wrong. He had the green hair, and somehow, someway, it didn't make me want to scrape my eyes out. Jumping to Sabine and Ahsoka as the pair look to get Sabine in fighting shape for the threat to come as Hu Yang continues to remind her that she's not a very formidable force wielder, but Ahsoka is intent on making her one, or at least making her one to the point where she can survive another fight against Shin. I love Sabine, and I want her to be badass, but is it hilarious watching Hu Yang roast her. It just feels like it's such an important part of this franchise to have a sarcastic droid around being a little shit. Once the trio enter the space above Cetos, they're ambushed by Shin and Merrick and a couple other fighters as an epic space sequence ensues. This was a really cool thing to do for a Disney Plus show, really, is like they're really making the most of what they have budget wise, and Steph Green was brilliant with her direction. They escaped the enemies, diving under the Purgle we saw briefly last week, and as they look great too. This show overall has looked really good for considering like the budget, and it's a Disney Plus show. Now the dynamic between Sabine and Ahsoka when they're just a team and not master and apprentice is, I think, a really fascinating concept. I hope they explore more because it seems like they just gel so much more together. Like there's this immense pressure once Sabine knows that she's her Padawan, that she has to like live up to that. But when she's just being Sabine Wren, the Mandalorian, it's much easier for her. It was also really a really great surprise to see a full sequence with Ahsoka floating in space as a nice callback to the Clone Wars when she learned how to do it with Anakin. And this scene also looked really good for a Disney Plus show. I thought the vocal mixing for Marak was his voice was really cool, and now it's gonna be a shame when he has to die, likely next week at the hands of Ahsoka. That's not a scoop, by the way, or a rumor I've heard. It's just an educated guess using the context of the trailers that we see both of them fighting in the forest, and then Ahsoka approaches Balin on that same planet later. Seems like he's a dead man walking. Then once again, Shin is absolutely terrifying. Ivana Sakno's eyes and the way she uses them to express her rage is borderline demonic. Like, I genuinely feel the fear when it cuts to her doing this, and I can't wait for her rematch with Sabine, next week. If I'm being completely honest, this show is off to a 3 for 3 start for me, quality wise. None of the episodes have been perfect, but I don't think any of them have been worse than good. All three have been good to great, and the direction by both Filoni and Steph Green has been truly fantastic. And as always, I want to know what you guys thought about the episode, so let me know down in the comments below what you would rate episode 3. If you want to stay up to date with my coverage of the show with both these episode breakdowns and throughout the week in shorts like I did last week, you can subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. I appreciate you checking out my video and hope you enjoyed both the breakdown and the episode. Thank you once again for checking this out, and make sure you have a great day.